Hello, my name is Charles Cowan. This podcast title is You Are What You Post. Today, me, Sierra Bradford, and Phillip Owusu will be discussing on social media and how it can affect your life in the later stages. So let's get started. Cyberbullying is a common problem amongst teens. 1 in 3 teens experience cyber threats online. How do y'all feel about this?
I don't think it's fair for the people that are getting bullied just because some stupid person wants to come along and say bad things about them to make themselves feel better. I feel like it's a profile thing, like they want to be above everybody else and feel like they have power and look like they're cool, and it's not cool because that's not fair and it's not right.
Well, I see where you're coming from with this, but I feel if people were more careful about what they put online and how often they used actual social media, they would be better off because it doesn't make sense when all these people are just putting stuff out there for people, just baiting people to bully them with. Philip, you got any input on this?
Well, I think you're wrong, Charles. I don't think that people put videos and pictures out there for people to assault them with. I think that people do that to get their 5 seconds of fame that every single teenager person with the camera out there wants. And naturally, there are going to be some trolls out there that will disagree with what they're doing or just go online to be mean, which isn't fair to anybody.
I see where you're coming from. Like, I agree with that. People are out there to hurt. Some people are just out there to hurt people. They don't care about how they feel or what happens with them. Like, but there are things now that are in place to help people against this. Like schools now have to adopt rules and policies against cyberbullying. In case a student is getting bullied, they have a place to go. They have a place that a person they can tell, like the school counselor, that and they can get help with this. And I think that's a good thing because you always need help.
But do you really think that laws and policies will really stop cyberbullying, or do you think that'll just help the problem evolve?
I can't say it will evolve. I think it will slow it if people are more careful. Because if they aren't trying to get caught, like I was reading this story the other day, well, today, about a girl, a 14-year-old girl who was being cyberbullied, and she was having threatening emails and messages, but they were able to trace back those messages and emails to her. It actually being her best friend, her own classmate, who she thought she could trust and everything, and it just she didn't believe it.
And that's the problem today. You don't know who you can trust with information. You have two options. You can either keep it to yourself or risk telling somebody about it. But telling one person about it will you basically relinquish all control of that one thing that you said. They can tell whoever they want now. They can tell whoever they want. And if it comes out to bite you, that's something you can't stop.
And that's the problem with the internet now. It's so corrupt. Like, people can't just post what they want now without being bullied or anything. Like, they have to worry about every single thing. Like, will people like this? Will people bully me? Like, will this come back to bite me? And it's not about, like, what they want to post anymore. It's, like, what they think other people want to see. And
well, let's take this discussion to the next level. Well, after high school, people really start to look at you as a person. They really want to know about you. Colleges, especially, there's always a chance you cannot make it into college because of a certain picture or an action you did prior to applying to them. They will look at your media. They will, especially if it's a higher college like a university, they will check you out. They want to make sure you're a good student to represent them because they don't want no irresponsible young adult or adult who just is going to make their school look bad.
But I mean, I know what you're saying, Charles, and I know universities and colleges do that, but some states now are developing policies against colleges and universities looking at your personal information seeing who you are and what you do.
I gotta disagree with that, man, because
no, it's a fact.
It might be a fact, but I can't. If I'm interviewing a person and I want to know who he is, I'm gonna go to his social media because the person in front of me could be lies for all I know. He's just there because he wants to get a job. He wants to be here. I don't need him here. He wants to be here.
But there's tons
for
of ways,
this job.
But there's tons of ways to see who somebody is.
Well,
besides looking at their social media accounts, there are websites out there that
Phil, those are the same exact thing as social media accounts. There's background checks on them. That's still personal information, though. If I'm a college and I'm accepting people to my college, I want to know who's coming to my college. I don't want a person who has who's had admitted drug issues on his Facebook account, or who's just been in all sorts of trouble and is proud of it. Oh, like he says, I got suspended today from school. What's up, man?
You want somebody that's responsible and that will represent you well.
And that's what people are doing nowadays. They're hiding their social media accounts. They're making themselves look good. And for all I know, they got a whole separate social media account. I'm just trying to find out what kind of people I want to work for me. I want to know who's working for me before I even meet them. Because that's what really, they're just there on social media. You can find everything you want, really. Unless the person is an actual good person and is careful about what they do on the internet.
It's the same thing for jobs, too. Like, if I were an employer, I wouldn't want to hire someone that's going to be the crazy alcoholic partier who's not responsible, comes to work just because he needs the money, and like I need somebody that's gonna get that job done and